Now this for everybody fighting through the pain and the pressure. You know life will try to test you, but you promise not to give up for your mama and your sister and your brother and your cousin, everybody else that's with you. You the one that's gonna deliver like Amazon Prime. Always on time, yeah. Even when it's looking bad, I never stop trying, cause I've been stressing, I've been crying. My depression had me blind. Sometimes I can't see the signs, but I keep going, I ain't lying. It's for everyone that's grinding for their kids, you're not alone. It's for every child that promised they gon' buy their mama home. For all my 9-to-5ers going hard to make that green clock out, then you just go harder, cause you still got chase that dream. For all my evolving artists, just keep going hard, regardless how people talking about us. You gon' build that startup.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my last LinkedIn Live of 2021. This was super last minute. Let me know if you could hear me, if you could comment below. I'm super excited to end this year with you. If you are new to my community, new to my page, or you're just tuning in, welcome. Mabuhay. That means welcome in Tagalog. I'm actually the first generation Filipino college American graduate. Just want to share that with you. And yeah, this was just really planned super last minute. It was an idea that was exchanged through Voxer with my friend, mentor, and coach. But I really wanted to host this special live just to take a moment to do a little bit of reflection and really set our intentions as we approach the end of the year going into 2022. And I couldn't find a better guest than my own friend, mentor, and coach, Mr. Robb Gilbert. He is the founder of The Growth Habit, author, dear friend of mine. And I'm a little nervous because this is my first time having him on the live. So let's see how it goes. We don't really have anything in place. But this is what it's all about. It's about having an idea, taking an action, and just running with it, right? So let's welcome Mr. Robb Gilbert!
Hey, what a beautiful warm intro. Thanks, June. I think the fact that we haven't overly planned is kind of the beauty of it, because we're both creative souls and we're going to reflect and recap. And I don't think we need to have a set agenda to do that well. So
I don't. I also do want to just also share, as you know, I love learning new things. I actually just created this sweater. You see a little plug-in to my newsletter, Career Hustle and Flow. I gifted myself this year a Cricut, which is like, if you're a crafter out there, you know what they are. But I made this shirt, so thought that this would be a good way to kind of wear it as we wrap up the end of the year. And you just have been such a huge part of my journey. So I'm glad that you're here today.
It's been a total honor. It's so funny because I remember back to our first conversation much earlier in the year, and so much has changed and happened since then. And it was just clear to me that you were on course for a complete banner year. It was clear to me that you were really going to have such an incredible year. So it's amazing now to sit and watch what you've done in your career with your business, the focus you've got. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I actually want to kind of give everyone a background. So I think we met. I'm going to put this on mute. We all met in the clubhouse chat room.
Yep.
And I think we were talking about, I don't know what room you were hosting, but can you remind me?
I was probably hosting a room on, do you need a coaching certification to be a coach?
Right, exactly. And then I think what I left that room, you basically shared that you really don't need a certification, right? And we could talk about that in another topic, but that was the first time I witnessed your greatness. And the first time I actually worked with Robb officially was when I wanted to share this because this is one of my milestones and favorite moments of 2021. And this is the time where we're going to reflect on this past year's milestones and wins. But I did you can see here, this was like my first LinkedIn Live get hired new hired series with Andrew Siemens, senior editor of LinkedIn News. And I was so nervous for this interview. And as you saw in my post yesterday, yes, I am a career coach. Yes, I'm a recruiter, but even coaches have coaches, because in order for me to help grow others, I have to grow myself, right? So what was like your takeaways with this as far as like working with me? getting over that like imposter syndrome that I was feeling before that interview with Andrew Seaman.
So it's just a reminder. I think that sometimes people think, like, I love how you just said that, coaches have coaches, or people think sometimes that if you hit a certain level of success that you don't have imposter syndrome. I still deal with imposter syndrome. I still deal with things. And it's just, you get to a certain level where things are going well and you want to learn and grow. And the only way to learn and grow is to start doing things you haven't done before, start doing things where you can't predict the outcome. And it's normal that that happens. So from that conversation, I took away that you're human. You have scary, defeating imposter syndrome thoughts when you're about to do something really scary and exciting, because the line between afraid and excited is quite thin. And that you're a creative powerhouse, and everyone has superpowers. And for each superpower, there is, the dark side, the downside of it. And one of your superpowers, which was abundantly clear in that conversation, is the free flow of nonstop ideas you have, creative ideas you have. You see things, patterns, connections that other people don't see. And it's, to you, it's such second nature that you maybe didn't realize. I think you didn't realize that other people don't have or don't suffer from that. So superpower. Downside being, if you don't have focus, if you don't have an intentional, strategic, intentional approach, that you can end up being a little bit all over the place. That's what I took away from that conversation.
No, absolutely. And like before I share my takeaways, I want to congratulate you, Rob, for your book. Die before they do, your first published book, which was one of my favorite reads of this year. And it was just amazing to be part of this. And I want to say thank you for, at the end of the book, you actually mentioned a few people that you had the pleasure to work with. And my name I forgot what page it was, but my name is on there. So thank you for highlighting me there. This was an amazing read. I love learning more about your journey. And it was a creative way of telling your story by having having short stories composed in one book. Can I ask you what inspired you to write this?
So I've had the intention and hope and bucket list goal to write a book for a long time. And it's something that a lot of people, I think, can relate to. And when I tried in the past, it didn't happen, partly because I didn't see how it would come together, or I didn't see what good it would kind of have. And even this year, I made it as like, I really want to do it this year. There's a sticky note there. It's like, write first book. But when I started talking to book coaches, book mentors, people that are agents, I got, hey, you're a coach. You have courses, right? You have programs. Yeah. Just take one of those and put it into a book. It'll be done. And I tried that because, these are experts. I tried that advice. It felt forced. It felt unaligned. It felt like homework. But then my partner, in all her brilliance, pointed out that I love writing short stories. I'd got some feedback from some incredible people out there, including Kate, who's one of my clients, saying that, hey, I don't know if you know this, you're an incredible storyteller. And then I had the aha that some of my most impactful posts, the posts that I get the most thankful messages, DMs from people like, I really needed this, is when I've shared stories of my struggles and challenges of the different things I've been through in life. Because I'm on my third career. I've struggled with alcohol. I've been in really dark, depressing places. I've had highs, I've had lows. And then once I gave myself that permission to write it, I wrote most of it in 7 days and wrote the whole first draft in 43. Like it like just flew, fire hose. Like it just poured out of me.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I think I remember, and I was like, you were taking your community with you on this journey of writing. And I love that you did that, because I know why you did that. It was for accountability. Mm-hmm. Right? What are the other reasons why you decided to take the community with you on this journey of being an author and writing your first book?
Yeah, well, accountability is huge, because in that first post, I asked people, I said, I want you to hold me to it. And people did. Like, there's people who messaged me like, hey, you haven't talked about the book in a while. Are you still doing it? Are you still writing? And incredible people actually reached out to me, which I'm so grateful for. And the other piece is, there's nothing worse than someone who creates something amazing, whether it is a program, a course, a book, or any kind of creative, like an album, a song. And then it's like, bam, here it is. You can do a bam, here it is if you're Beyonce and you've got however many like multi millions of followers in places, and those people are just going to go buy or stream or whatever you put out. But for most people, you don't have that. So it's a great way to help get the message out. And also it makes people feel involved. because when the book came out, not only did people hold me accountable and did people knew it was coming, so they're expecting it, but people felt like they were a part of the journey and then felt like they were part of the book, which was
Right.
really cool.
Yes, I love that. And thank you for writing that book for us, for all of us to read. I can't wait for you to write your next book. But I'm just reading it. And, I started working with Rob officially as my coach. I want to say, I don't know, it's flown by so quickly. I think in October, or like
Yeah.
prior to your launch. And it was wonderful to be part of like the process as you're kind of giving me updates. But reading that book really inspired me for other ideas. And as people are aware, I've announced recently that I'm publishing my first ebook.
Mhm.
And just like being part of your journey has inspired me to start thinking about how I can incorporate more storytelling in my ebook. I also threw an idea just because, especially with this last year in 2020, I have created so many friendships on LinkedIn, had amazing opportunity to work with dream clients, that after reading your book, it gave me an idea to do like a LinkedIn book that encompasses different stories from this LinkedIn platform. So that's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen.
Nothing could make me happier, because what I wanted the book to do is inspire other people to express themselves creatively and to do things. So it's really awesome to hear that. So you're inspired. You're creating this ebook that you've been teasing a little bit in your community about, and you're incorporating stories in it. What's your purpose with the book? What's your overall intention with the book that you're writing?
Yeah, my intention right now, I mean, as everyone knows, I recently just started at Meta on the technical recruiting team, my dream company, which has been super exciting. But unfortunately, I don't have the bandwidth to help everyone as a career coach, but I still have that need to fill that cup of impacting people's careers. And I want to put this out there. Yes, I am working full time, but sometimes, and this is actually a great conversation that I had with Valerie Mecki, who was a co-host of my Career Hustle and Flow live show this year. But we talked about sometimes outside of our 9 to 5, there's things that we do outside of our work that fills our cup. And for me, it's my business, it's my coaching business. And creating this ebook for me is going to help job seekers out there, showing them that, I am an underdog. I still feel like I'm considered an underdog. I came from a non-traditional background. I didn't graduate college until I was in my late 20s. I've experienced multiple career gaps in my overall career. And I really just want to share some tips and practices on how people could really build their brand through LinkedIn, through resume, through networking, to really attract those dream companies to want to hire them. So really excited for that. Thank you for asking that.
I don't
I'm
know
not
how
really go
I don't
ahead.
know how I couldn't. It just felt like a natural question to kind of ask you, because, I love hearing you talk about it, because obviously we've been talking about it. You've been sending me stuff to review. We've been chatting in our calls and on Voxer, but to hear you articulate, like, yeah, you've been on a journey and you were lucky now. You're feeling a great place that you are working at your dream company, but you've had gaps in your resume. You've been laid off. You've been through stuff, and how you really thank and credit LinkedIn for that. So not only do you want to, show people your journey and show them what's possible, but you're including the how-to, you're including some strategy and some very applicable tips in your book, so that people can actually do it themselves and create their own, whatever it is, get the jobs that they want to get and find more
Right.
fulfilling work, and really leverage their personal brand on LinkedIn. Because I think sometimes people believe, this is a false belief, it's BS, that you can only build a personal brand on LinkedIn if you're an entrepreneur, where we
No.
both know that's
Yes.
not the case.
It is not the case. And LinkedIn is so much, I mean, I preach this all the time, like multiple times this year and last year, is LinkedIn is so much more than a job board. And I also want to encourage people too. Like, I obviously landed my job at my dream company, but what I often see on LinkedIn is people land their jobs, their dream jobs, and they kind of ghost their presence on LinkedIn. And for me, and this is something that I talked about with Anna Morgan and another fellow friend of mine in Career Coach, is you need to continue to build your brand. This is great for entrepreneurs, for
Mhm,
professionals, job
mhm,
seekers. You
mhm.
need to continue to build your personal brand and network, because that is going to build your career and business insurance. And just, I mean, you always want to be the in-demand candidate,
Mhm.
because you never know. I mean, this pandemic has changed the climate of the job the job market, the workforce, is you always just want to have plan B.
Well, I think it's not even just the pandemic. I think we look at our parents and our grandparents and people from different generations, and it was normal then that Anna.
I was just talking about you. Did you hear me?
I hope
Yes,
you did.
Anna. I'm gonna give Anna that plug-in. She is like the queen of career insurance. So yes, I got that from you. But what were you saying? Hi, Anna.
Or just that not only is it just the pandemic, but our parents and our grandparents worked places. They'd work there for an extended period of time. They'd, you might work somewhere 15, 20, 25 years. At the end, a lot of places, there was a pension. It was a defined pension where like you were guaranteed a certain amount of money. Pensions don't exist. The places that do have pensions, most of the time now it is you contributing somewhere. And if the market changes, you have nothing. You're more likely to get let go. So you're not getting all that insurance, that guaranteed other side from the employer now. So why would you put all your eggs in that basket? And yeah, it's funny. It's like, I think about it as relationships and the idea that you get married to someone and you put in all that effort and courting and getting to know them and putting your best foot forward. And then you get married and then you stop talking to them. And then you get married and you stop doing date nights. And then you get married and then you stop telling them what you appreciate about them. And then you get married and you like, how's that going to work out? It's the same thing. I think it's the same thing you're talking about. Someone lands their dream job and they go MIA. Yes, you have a job, you have responsibilities. Doesn't mean you maybe not be as active, but it's a community. There's people, there's relationships. And I love this idea of insurance that you brought up. That's an idea of Anna's.
Oh my goodness. You said like, I liked how you kind of correlated to a relationship and marriage. By the way, I want to give a shout out to my husband. We did a date night last night. It was way long overdue.
Yay.
It was so needed. But it's so important, like you said, to nourish that relationship, like with your partners, with your friends, but nourish your own career development, right? And continue to invest and plant those seeds. I love that. Yes, great analogy, Anna. Eugene said here, I've just updated my LinkedIn profile because new year, more love for marketing materials such as LinkedIn profile and resume. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Yes, Eugene. Boom. I wish I had sound effects. I would have given you like a cheer, but
yes.
Awesome. Okay, yay to date nights. Yes. Okay, awesome. So what is your biggest, before I share mine, Rob, what is your biggest, if you could kind of like narrow down your biggest milestone or win for this year? And I'm gonna ask you two questions. Your biggest win, and what is the one thing that you would have changed in 2021?
Biggest win for me, it has to be the book. Because it's not just like a book came out. It's not just that hundreds of people bought it. It's not just that it's got 22 5-star ratings on Amazon. It's the fact that I have proven to myself that I can be a writer, because I used to doubt that I could be a writer. I used to not believe that I could be a writer. So if I had written this and no one had read it, not a soul had read it, and all that had happened is I had written it and I had shown to myself that I could write, it was totally worth it because it was therapeutic, it was cathartic, and it was relieving. If I'd put this out and the only people who read it were my parents, still totally worth it, because this was difficult for my parents to read. There's some tough stories in here. My parents cried. My mom wrote me a love letter. I had the most heartwarming conversation with my dad afterwards. So if they're the only people who read it, totally worth it. But the fact that all these other people have read it and all these other people are saying how it's helped them, it's impactful, it's been insightful, they've learned from it, and they're grateful, like that's the cherriest of the cherries on top. And then as far as something I would do differently, so funny, for all the things that I help thank you, Anna, for all the things that I help other people with, including you, as far as, getting focused, getting intentional, I found myself in a place where it was right before I started to write this. And I had my main course for my coaches. I had this reboot program that was kind of for entrepreneurs that I ran once in a while. I had this thing that I started with Doug Lawson. Shout out Doug Lawson. He's incredible.
Yes.
Love that dude. And then I was thinking about starting a book project. And then my mentor was like, what the hell are you doing? You're spread way too thin.
Oh. Is this when you hosted like a workshop? Book project? What was the book project about?
With Doug, yeah, I did a workshop with Doug, and then we had a program on the back end of that. So we had a workshop that we provided a lot of value, taught people, shared a whole bunch of insightful stuff. But then on the back end of that, we had another course. So I essentially had 3 courses. And then I was talking about starting a book. And then I got rid of my reboot program. I said, Doug, I love you, but we have to put a pause on this. I kept only my primary flagship course, and I put my eggs in this basket as far as something else. And if I could change what, I would have simplified sooner, because now I'm looking at how much better the main program I have for coaches is. I'm continuing to iterate on it. The people I'm attracting are incredible. People that are already at like insane levels of success that just need my help to go further. That wouldn't have been possible unless I'd gotten more focused. And I would have focused sooner. It's funny to see that I fell into a trap that I helped so many other people avoid.
You're helping me with that trap. And oh my God. And by the way, I've been meaning to tell you this. We have so many, like reading your book, we have so many commonalities as far as how we grew up. I don't want to give anything away in the book, but reading the chapter about your relationship with your father really struck a chord with me, because I didn't have the best relationship with my father. But now, I think I told you this on Voxer, now we have one of the best relationships because he's kind of reliving and taking this opportunity to be a better father with his grandchildren. So just reading that just really hit home for me. So thank you for putting that in the book, because it's like these stories are so important for people to read. And because when people are reading your book, they see themselves in your stories, right? So, and that's what I plan to do with my ebook coming up soon. And just thank you. Like that was, y'all, you got to get this book. If you want to this is not sponsored by Robb, by the way, but this is like a game changer. But thank you for sharing that with me. And it says that was a huge section for me too. Motivated me to speak my truth to my father. It was so powerful. Yes.
Right. So this is exactly why I created the book. And look, there's lessons about entrepreneurship, about self-discovery, about trials and tribulations with alcohol and drugs, but it's the human experience, and it's the evolution of me trying to figure out how to be an entrepreneur as a teenager and all the ups and downs I had to go through to get to kind of where I am now. And that makes it worth it. Like, because Anna, when she read that, she messaged me. I think she might even sent me a couple of voice notes about, how much she loved the book and how that chapter really spoke to her. And now you're doing it too. I had someone reach out to me 4 or 5 weeks ago, high successful entrepreneur, like they're making plenty of money, run a team, like their life is good by the external metrics that other people look at. And the stuff about my relationship with my ex-wife really hit home with them, and that they had a conversation they'd been avoiding. And then they went out on and scheduled the date. And it was like the first date they'd had in forever. And it was incredible. And this is a highly successful, like this person's a multimillionaire kind of person, but it was reading that story, or some of the stories in the book had that impact. So like, what a gift. And then for me to get that reflected back to me, what a gift.
No, yeah, absolutely. I feel like I want to read it again. And hopefully you're going to do an audiobook version, because, powerful.
I am. I definitely am next year. It's a little lower. I'm looking at my list of things I want to do next year. It's a little lower on the priority list, but it's going to get done. It's because I'm realizing to do it well that I'm going to have to do a retreat. I'm going to have to lock myself up somewhere for 5 days or whatever, because I really want to do it well. But it's coming, because I've had a few people ask for it. I know people absorb information and learn in different ways. And I want to make it accessible to more people. So I will be making an audiobook at some point next year.
Okay, that's super exciting. Can't wait to download that.
Okay, what about you? I want to ask you. No, stop asking me questions. We're going to flick back. Will you, biggest accomplishment of the year, and you, something you would have changed sooner, or however you framed it to me, or something you would have done differently?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to choose one as far as accomplishments. I feel like they're all kind of in the same level, right? I think the biggest thing, obviously, one of the biggest wins for me this year is, being here now at Meta, because I've been rejected multiple times in the past. And I don't know. I've been so fortunate to be in the position where I am in, where I had multiple companies reach out. I would say that, and being part of a team that is focusing on D&I initiatives, something that I'm super passionate about. But the huge wins that I didn't really see coming really was like the LinkedIn Talent Award, finalist award. I didn't think I knew I wasn't going to win, but being nominated 1 out of 3 people in the US for that category was huge. And also, like, I really want to celebrate that too, because I was nominated against my dear friend Jennifer Garibay, who's also a technical recruiter at Google, but then Susan David, who is a TEDx speaker, has a PhD, and we talked about this too. And I'm like, how am I even on this list? And how am I even up against this woman? And it was great. I just want to celebrate, and we talked about this, Rob, LinkedIn for celebrating diversity, people from different perspectives and backgrounds. So when I got that nomination, it solidified that everything that I'm doing on LinkedIn is what I should be doing. And what we should be seeing more of
Yes.
is like the realness, people showing up authentically, people not only sharing their wins, but sharing their struggles. And that's what I've done in the past year and a half. So that's that. And then, oh, my ebook is going to be, well, I was looking for an ebook version. Is that available? I have a question.
Me, yes, it is available. It's on Amazon, and the ebook is, because I don't feel I want to make it accessible. The ebook is, I don't know if it's 99 cents or $1.99, whatever. The ebook
Yes.
it's practically free.
Download it. It's
Yes.
worth the 99 cents. It's worth it's only $12.99. I think it's only $12.99 too. And then, okay, biggest thing that I would take away, and I texted you this morning. I am finalizing this newsletter that I'm putting out today or probably tomorrow about sharing my wins for the year. And I was doing an inventory, an audit of my calendar, and I realized how much I was doing. And I have had that shiny object syndrome. And I'm overcoming that shiny object syndrome. And this is why I work with coaches with like Robb. And I've been fortunate to work with another amazing coach, Mariella de la Mora. And I realized I had too much on my plate. And I should have been a little bit more intentional with my time. I'm not regretting anything because it's made me who I am today. But now going into the new year, I'm reflecting, and I'm going to be more. My theme of going into the new year is being more intentional and being focused and setting boundaries. That's it.
I love it. That's great. And it really, because you do not suffer from lack of ideas and lack of creativity and lack of energy. And then just focusing that like a laser, the power that you have, if it's focused in intentionally, one thing at a time, two things at a time max, and what you were able to accomplish and the impact you're going to be able to have, the amount of people that you're going to be able to inspire, to help and change their careers and their paths.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was going into a position too where I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, and we talked about this too, right? Where for anyone out there, you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone because everyone has different circumstances, right? You're going to do what's best for you. You're going to work with what you can and just be a little bit more great, be more kind to yourself and be more graceful, So, yes.
That's important. Look, and that's talked about all the time. Comparison is a thief of joy, progress, perfection, all of these things. But it's just easy because I love the internet. I love LinkedIn. I love this device. It's how I've met people like you and all these other people, met clients, how the books come out, all this stuff. However, there is a trap. And especially if you are consuming more than you're creating, and especially if you're allowing people's highlight reels to dictate what you think of them and compare to where you should be, with quotes, because you shouldn't be shooting on yourself. If you stop then and think about where was June 6 months ago, where was June 12 months ago, where was June 24 months ago, that's the comparison that's worth making.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, any last words before we wrap up? Because I know we have to get going. I'm going to try to finish this newsletter. If not, then it's going to be okay because it'll be there when it's ready.
My final thoughts. So there's a thought I want to share with everyone, and then there's something I want to say to you directly. So the thought I want to share with everyone is fear stops so many people from trying new things, from experimenting, from stepping out of the norm, out of their comfort. And you can't learn, you cannot grow if you continue to do things where you can predict the outcome, where you're going to be safe, where you know exactly what's going to happen. But I think the words comfort zone are used so much that people disassociate what that truly really means. And to just put a spotlight on your fear, ask a question. Why am I feeling feared? Where is this coming from? What is the worst that could happen? If the worst did happen, what could I do to mitigate the downside? What is the upside of me actually making an attempt? What could I learn? How could I grow? Who could I impact? What are those things, so that you do take steps towards new things that excite you so that you can impact and help other people, so that you can express your creativity or whatever the hell that might be. That's the last final thoughts I have. And then just want to say to you, June, that just how damn thankful I am that you've trusted me, how proud I am of you, and how amazing it is to see, because I feel like I have a front row seat of you being this ball of energetic potential that you are intentionally putting towards things and are a lot more focused, and you're accomplishing stuff, and just the big goals that are now either you are accomplishing them or they're one step away because of the way that you've changed your approach, and just for trusting me in your journey, because it's damn cool to watch you. And you're starting, like I said, this is a banner year. You've had a banner year. You're at like level 1.2 of where you're going.
I just don't know. Yeah. Thank you.
Like you can go. It's cool that you got nervous over the live with Andrew, but there's going to be a point, a year, 2 years, 5 years from now, you're going to be like, how the hell was I nervous about that? Because I was just live on ABC or whatever. Like,
oh gosh, stop.
I don't think you fully realize your brilliance and where this goes, and you continue to take this intentional, focused approach. You're going to be almost laughing at where you are now compared to where you're going.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate you. I'm so glad that we work together, and I call you a friend. Yes. Last words for you all. I did a post about this just right now. Everyone's thinking about New Year's resolutions, goals. Mm-hmm. Give yourself some grace. I didn't have a concrete plan this same time last year. I didn't know if I was going back to work full time. I didn't know if I was going to go into my business full time. This pandemic has just kind of showed us that we just need to go. What was the term? Like, go with the fly at the seat of your pants, where you just kind of roll with it sometimes. You just got to take action, be experimental, surround yourself with accountability partners, and then eventually your actions and everything that you put out into the world is going to create the path that you were always meant to be on. And that's how I feel that I am on today. And I'm really excited for everything that's coming in the new year. Stay tuned for my ebook and coaching community that I'm launching in the new year. I'm not going to put a hard deadline out there. It's coming, but I'm super excited, super grateful for this community, super grateful for you, Rob. Thank you for spending your New Year's with me. I do want to just wrap up with this remix video of ourselves.
Oh, you've got that queued up?
I did. I don't know if you can hear it. Wait, can you hear it? Hold on, let's see. So this is like the video that that Rob posted. It's like a testimonial video. And it was post when I went live with Andrew Seaman. And let's see if you could, hopefully you could hear it. Hold on. Can you hear it?
No audio. No, I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
Oh, yeah, there's audio. There's audio. Oh, no. It's just so quiet.
Oh, no, it's okay. Darn it. It's all good. I wanted to show the one with you dancing, but it's okay.
You can just put the link in the comment. So that was June after she had done, after her and I had our call, I had given her some coaching and helped her prep for this stream. She did the stream. She knocked it out of the park. And then she sent me this really super nice video. And it was kind of like a testimonial sorts. But her energy was so contagious that I edited it over top of some music. And it's short, but it's super funny and fun.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, because you say holy crap, because I cut you off saying holy.
Hold on. Here, I think you can hear it now.
Rob. Holy crap. I just want to say thank you. You definitely got me onto the right mindset going into my career review. Yeah. You also inspired me to write that blog article that was just featured by LinkedIn News. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yes, I think I'm live. This is what happens when you get two creative forces into this area, into this creative space. So thank you. That was one of my highlights of the year. So thank you, Rob. I thank you for your time. I hope you spend the rest of the day with your family. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2022. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.